everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited to share with all of you my wish list for the upcoming Sephora VIB sale. So in case you missed it, I recently put out a video with my recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale where I also discussed the different levels and different dates for the sale. So if you haven't checked out that video, then definitely check that out for some more details. I hope this video is fun and helpful for any of you who are curious what sort of products I'll be picking up and featuring in my channel in the upcoming months. And also for this video, I would love to hear in the comments down below if you guys have any experience with these products, if so, what your thoughts were, and also if there are any of these products that you're particularly interested in. The reality is I will not be picking up everything from my wish list because there's just way too many items, and so I would love to prioritize them based on what you guys want to see. So before we dive into these products, I just wanted to quickly go over what I have on my eyes today. So recently, Natasha Denona released her Mini Metropolis palette, and I've been seeing a lot of great looks using that palette, and so I decided to emulate them in today's look. I did not actually pick up the Mini Metropolis because 3 of the 5 shades are actually in the Metropolis palette, which I own. So in today's look, I used Rope all over the crease, Jubilee in the outer portion of my lid, and then Blaze in the inner third. The Mini Metropolis also comes with a brown matte and a white matte, and so for today's look, I used this antique shade over here for the brown matte. And for the white matte, I dipped into my Natasha Denona Trio Chrome and used Vertex. So I thought I would just explain that for any of you who are curious about the Mini Metropolis. I think this is basically the kind of look that you would get from that palette. And if, like me, you already own Metropolis, you can definitely use your existing Metropolis palette to get the same look. So without further ado, let's get into my wish list. So let's first start off with makeup and in particular eyeshadows. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that eyeshadow is my favorite category of makeup, and most of my videos are reviewing eyeshadow palettes. So it might come as a surprise to you that I only have one eyeshadow palette on my wish list, but that's simply because normally I buy eyeshadow palettes the moment they drop so that I can review them for you guys. The one exception to this rule is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. So I was actually on vacation when this palette dropped, and so I really wanted to pick it up, but after I got back from vacation, so many videos had already gone up with this palette, and so I figured I would just wait for the VIB sale and pick it up with the 20% Rouge discount. I am super excited for this palette though. It reminds me a lot of Divine Rose 1, which is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. But this palette definitely has more reddish burgundy tones to it, so I think it'll be really perfect for the holiday season. So I am super excited to pick this one up, and if you guys already have this in your collection, definitely let me know what you think. And also, if you don't have it in your collection, let me know if you would be interested in a video about this still. So moving along from eyeshadow, let's talk about foundation. So I have a few foundations on my wish list. I probably will only pick up 1 or 2 at the most, but the first one is the one that I'm actually wearing today. So I got a mini sample of the La Mer Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation, which has SPF 20, and I got it in the shade 230 Light Ochre. This is basically my 3rd or 4th use from the mini sample that I got, and I have to say I really have been enjoying this foundation formulation. I have pretty dry skin, and so I like how this is a pretty hydrating foundation. It looks really natural and skin-like while still providing a decent amount of coverage. And I actually have an upcoming video with a few wear tests of this foundation, comparing it with the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. So definitely subscribe down below if you're interested in checking out that video. But of course, the one thing I do not like about this La Mer foundation is the price. The original price is $135. And so I figure if I am gonna pick up this foundation, the Sephora VIB sale is probably the best time to do so. The next foundation I have my eyes on is the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 5.75. And this, of course, is a cult favorite foundation. It won the Allure Best of Beauty Award, and even though it's still a pretty pricey high-end foundation, it's a lot more affordable than the La Mer foundation. It's only around $60 for a full bottle and $44 for the mini size. And so I am really interested in trying this foundation out. I've also heard really great things about the Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation, which has SPF 30. And in particular, Charlotte Holdcroft compared this with the Tom Ford shade in Illuminate and said that it gives a relatively similar finish. Whereas the Tom Ford is $150, this is only $47. And so this has also been on my wish list. If you guys have tried either the Armani or the Shiseido foundations, I would love to hear down in the comment section what your experience with these have been. Related to foundation, I also have a couple concealers on my wish list. First off, we have the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, and this is a favorite of Michelle Wong. Like me, she has dry skin, and so I'm hoping that this concealer will work out for me. The biggest problem I always have with concealers is, on the one hand, my skin is pretty dry, so I need a nice hydrating emollient concealer. But on the other hand, I do have a decent amount of creasing around my eye bag, and so if a concealer is too emollient, it always ends up sinking into my lines there. And then if I set it, it often makes it really dry in that under eye area. And so concealer is definitely a product I find pretty finicky. Another concealer I've been hearing great things about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. This is one that Morgan Turner really raved about and compared with the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Concealer, which is that really expensive $90 concealer that folks have been reviewing. And I don't think I want to pick up the $90 concealer, and so we'll see. This Anastasia Beverly Hills one is only $29, and so if it gives a similar effect, that would be amazing. To round out the base products, I also have my eyes on the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is a product I am pretty on the fence about because on the one hand, I've heard really amazing things, and so I'm really intrigued and want to try this out. On the other hand, I feel like adding an additional step into my routine in terms of adding the Flawless Filter either under foundation or mixing it into my foundation just seems like a lot of work, and so I'm not really sure if I would actually use this that much. I definitely don't think I would use it as a liquid highlight just because I really dislike liquid highlighters. And so if you guys have experience with this product, definitely let me know if you think it's worth it for someone who usually has a pretty low maintenance base product routine. And finally, in the base product category, we have powder. And so there's a couple powders I've been looking at. First off, we have the Gucci setting powder. I really love the Gucci bronzer. That was my favorite bronzer from 2020. And this is both similar packaging and possibly a similar formulation to that bronzer powder. And so I'm really excited to see how well this powder works with my skin. The other powder on my wish list is the LYS Beauty Translucent Setting Powder. And Michelle Wong was the one who first tipped me off on this, and LYS has been a brand that I've been eyeing for a while and have been very interested in. They are a Black-owned clean beauty brand, which I think is really awesome, and their pan sizes are pretty big and pretty affordable, and so I've been eyeing their products for a while. Most of them have been kind of cream or liquid-based products, which is not my favorite, but a translucent setting powder sounds really great. Moving right along, let's talk about some cheek products. So I have one bronzer to talk about, which is the Dior Forever Natural Bronzer in the shade Amber. So this has been a product I have been eyeing for quite a while. It came out in the early to middle part of this year, and I added it to my wish list in Sephora quite quickly thereafter. For a while, I was thinking of picking that up along with one of the highlighters that they came out with and doing a video about that, but I kind of missed the time period when everyone was reviewing these, and so I figured instead I would just wait for the VIB sale. I really like the way this powder looks, both in terms of the packaging, which looks really luxe with that plush quilted white exterior, And also the shade looks really attractive to me in that usually I have a problem with bronzers running a little bit too warm on my skin, but this one looks like it's pretty neutral with more of a reddish brownish undertone to it instead of a yellowy orange one. And that's what I generally prefer with my bronzers. The other bronzy product I have on my wish list is the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm Face Palette. So this includes a highlighter, blush, contour, and bronzer. And this was a product I first passed on when it first came out because she released it in just one shade. And ostensibly it's supposed to be a universal palette, but I'm really skeptical of palettes that claim to be universal because usually I feel like that means you can't actually make use of all of the shades. And this is $75, so if I was gonna pick it up, I wanted to be able to use all of the shades. Upon seeing the reviews of this product though, it does look really promising. I don't think it's actually universal in the sense that if you're really fair or really deep, I don't think it'll work. But it worked better than I thought it would for folks in the light, medium to tan spectrum. And so I'm hoping that it'll work for me. At least the videos I saw made this look really, really gorgeous. And so I am really intrigued to pick this up. Another cheek product I've been eyeing is the Westman Atelier Trio. So this comes with a mini bronzer, blush, and highlighting stick. Westman Atelier is a clean beauty brand that I've been interested in trying for quite a while, but thus far I've sort of held back because I normally don't like cream products, and most of their hit items are in the cream category, including these 3 sticks. I am intrigued though, just because I've heard so many great things about this brand, so I figure this sale might be a good time to pick out something from their line and see if I like it. There are a lot of blushes that I have on my wish list. So I have a couple Dior blushes. First off, the Dior Rouge blush in the shade Charnel. And this is also a Michelle Wong favorite that I've been intrigued by. The Charnel blush just looks like a really perfect everyday blush shade. And recently I've been really gravitating towards these everyday, somewhat subtle, sort of peachy, bronzy blush looks. And so this one has definitely gotten me intrigued. I also have the 2 Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blushes on my wish list. There's one that's pink and one that's coral, and both of these have been sold out for the longest time. I think they went a bit viral because somebody said that Kylie Jenner wears them, which I think later on turned out to be not true or something. But whatever the reason is, they have been sold out forever. But I actually heard about these before the whole Kylie Jenner thing, just from folks saying that these are beautiful, glowy blushes. And so I have had these on my wish list for a while. The main thing that has been holding me back is these are $37. If you see them in store, they're really, really small blushes, and the packaging is not terribly luxurious, and so that's why I haven't bought them yet. Another blush on my wish list is the Laura Mercier Bellini blush. So if you guys saw some of my recent videos, including last month's favorites, I talked about the Laura Mercier blush in Fresco, which I really loved from a formulation standpoint. It was just so seamless to blend in on the skin, and I really loved the base pigment of that blush. What I did not love though was the shimmer particles in it. The shimmers were just too cool toned and silvery on my skin, so they left sort of an unnatural sheen. Since I liked the base pigment so much, I wanted to pick up one of their matte blushes, and Charlotte Holdcroft has been long raving about the Laura Mercier Bellini blush. It's one of her favorite shades and favorite blushes of all time, and so I figured of the different matte options, I would check out that one. So the last blush on my wish list is the Clinique Cheek Pop in the shade Black Honey. And this is kind of a random addition to my wish list. Basically, I was seeing all of the hype around the Clinique lip balm in Black Honey, and so I decided to check that out, and that is also on my wish list now. It looks like a really pretty, moody, Your Lips But Better kind of deep shade. And when I was in a Sephora store recently, because I was looking for Black Honey, I saw that they had the Black Honey blush, and so I swatched that and I really liked the tone of it. It looked like a really flattering pink shade that you could wear on an everyday basis when you don't want to look really pink and flushed. Instead, you're going for more of a sophisticated look, but it still has that healthy pink undertone to it. Another blush I've been eyeing is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush Trio. So these are some mini blushes in some really light, cute, everyday friendly shades. And I haven't tried anything yet from Rare Beauty, but it's a brand that I am really interested in. I'm a fan of the show Only Murders in the Building, so I've really been loving Selena Gomez in that recently. I think this soft pinch blush is one that has gotten pretty good reviews overall, so I think this will be a nice way to try out several shades at once and see if I like her formulations. Moving along from blush to highlighter, I think this is the last Dior product on my wish list, but I have the Dior Forever Couture Luminizing Highlighter. And at the moment, the shade that's on my wish list is the Golden Glow. I have been eyeing Dior highlighters for a while because they are one of the formulations that folks have really said amazing things about, and I've just never tried any of their highlighters. The main thing that's been holding me back is I'm not really sure which shade I want to get. I think the Nude Glow is probably the one that I would use the most and might be the most flattering on my skin because it's quite neutral in undertone. But at this point, because I have so many highlighters, I usually try to pick more unique shades. So that's why Golden Glow is in my basket. I normally don't like very gold highlighters, but this one, at least in pictures, looks more coral orangey almost, which to me seems quite unique. So this next product is not exactly a highlighter, but it's kind of highlighting, I guess. So this is the Guerlain Meteorites. So this is a product I've been somewhat intrigued by for a while. It looks totally different from any other powder products I've seen on the market. And my understanding is that this is a product that is kind of like a finishing powder, so not exactly a highlighter, but it does have some highlighting properties to it. I've never tried this, and so I don't really know much more beyond that, but this is also a product I heard great things about from Michelle Wong, and it just really intrigues me because it's in a totally different format than other powders. Next up, let's go into lipsticks. So first off, I have a few Gucci lipsticks. They're satin lipstick in Janet Rust. Recently in particular, I've been wanting to get more of a rusty red tone for the lips, and so Janet Rust looked really up my alley. For a while now, I've also been really interested in the Gucci Glow and Care Shine lipsticks. These are the ones that are a little bit more like a lip balm formulation, so a little bit more sheer and more hydrating. I am a huge sucker for hydrating lip balm, lipstick sorts of products, and so I've been really wanting to try this out. Aside from Gucci, I have my eyes on a few Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks as well. So her Matte Revolution formula is one of the few matte formulas I am willing to wear on a regular basis. And recently I've been really enjoying Mrs. Kisses, but I've wanted something a little bit more nude, and so I've been intrigued by her Super Nudes collection. In particular, Super Fabulous is described as a nude rosewood, and so that seems really up my alley. That one is the deepest one, so I'm hoping I would be able to wear it without a lip liner. I am also interested in Catwalking, which is more of a nude peach. That one though, I think I would need to use with lip liner. Also from Charlotte Tilbury, I love her Kissing formula. It is one of my all-time favorite lipstick formulations. And so I've been eyeing the shades Stoned Rose and Pillow Talk Intense. Stoned Rose is a really, really warm kind of orangey shade on me. It is described simply as a rose shade, but I tried one of the samples of it and it definitely comes across really warm on me. I also really like Pillow Talk Intense. I did a swatch video with a mini version of Pillow Talk Intense a while back, so if you're interested in Pillow Talk, then definitely check out that video. but I wanted to get a full size of the Pillow Talk Intense because that was my favorite shade. And the minis are just not really there from a quality and luxury standpoint. So I'm excited to potentially pick up a full size version of Pillow Talk Intense. Next, we have Huda Beauty. So I have been absolutely obsessed with the cream lipsticks that she released this year. Especially the Bossy Browns line has just been one of my favorite launches of the whole year. I just keep buying more of the shades in that line, and they're all just so beautiful. I have Moneymaker and Boss Chick right now. Love them both. I just picked up Hustla, and then I have Habibi and Sweet Cheeks on my wish list. Those two are not from the Bossy Browns line. They're from more of the mauvey pink line, but it should be the same formulation. So I'm really intrigued to try that out for days when I want to have more of a cool toned lip look. So moving along from lipstick to lip liner, I have been for a while now on the hunt for a nice brown lip liner that is deeper than my natural lip color, but not super deep. So I find that it's really hard for me to find this for some reason. There seems to be a big jump in most lip liner ranges between shades that on me are just really similar to my lip shade to shades that are really deep. And so my current favorite lip liner, Naya from Natasha Denona, is really great, but a little bit too deep. So I want something a little bit lighter than that. But a lot of the other lip liners I've tried, like Structure from Pat McGrath or Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury, are just too similar to my natural lip shade. So I want something in between. So right now in my wish list, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Foxy Brown and the Huda Beauty Lip Pencil in the shade Warm Brown. So the last lip product on my wish list is from Fenty Beauty, and it's her lip cream in the shade Cookie Jar. So I know that Fenty Beauty has a real cult following in terms of the lip glosses, but I'm pretty late to the party. I have yet to try any of them. I've never been that big of a fan of the relatively sheer lip glosses with a lot of shimmer in them, but when she released the cream lip glosses, I became really interested, and in particular, Cookie Jar looks like one of my favorite types of shades, which is a sort of caramel brown shade. And so I'm really excited to try this out and see how the Fenty formula compares with some of my other lip glosses. So to round out the makeup section, let's talk about brow products and eye primers. So first off, I've been really loving the Balm Brows brow pencil from Huda Beauty, and I actually just ran out of mine. So I'll be picking up a new one, and I'll be getting it in the shade Soft Black. Because I really love that brow pencil, I also want to try out her brow gel, and so I'll be picking that up in the shade Medium Brown. I usually like my brow gels to be just a little bit lighter so my brows don't look like they're just one color. I've also been eyeing the Patrick Ta Major Lamination Gel, and this is a product that Morgan Turner has really been raving about. And I've never done feather brows or anything where you really brush your brows up, but I am kind of intrigued by this product. For the eyes, one product I'm really excited to pick up is the Pat McGrath Intensifies Wand. So if you guys watched any of my recent Pat McGrath videos, including my Utopian Dream video and my Sublime video, you know that recently I've been using mixing liquid, and that's really been a game changer for a lot of my Pat McGrath shadows. That said, I picked up my mixing liquid basically before she announced she was coming out with the Intensifies wand. And so I have had some FOMO about this wand, and I have been really curious how it compares with just using normal mixing liquid. In case you're unfamiliar with the wand, it's basically mixing liquid that has been converted into a balm and then put into a stick. And so the idea is it should be more fuss-free to use compared to actual mixing liquid. It is much more expensive though than mixing liquid, and so in my experience using just normal mixing liquid is fine, but I do want to pick this up and do a comparison test for you guys just to see what the pros and cons of each are. So the last makeup product on my list is the Tom Ford eyeliner. So this is a very pricey double-ended eyeliner. One side is sort of more of a normal sized brush tip, whereas the other side is a mini brush tip to help you really refine the edges of your wing. This is also a recommendation I got from Morgan Turner. This is way more expensive than the typical eyeliners that I pick up, but it is double-ended, and so I'm hoping it's basically like 2 eyeliners in one. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I wear eyeliner pretty much whenever I wear makeup. I'm not really a mascara or falsies kind of girl, so eyeliner does matter a lot to me. I am perfectly happy with my current M Cosmetics eyeliner. I really love that one. But given the sale, I might pick up this luxury eyeliner just to see what the hype is about. So moving along from makeup to skincare, and apologies, this video is probably extremely long, but the first skincare product I have on my wish list is actually related to makeup. It is the Kohgendo Cleansing Spa Water Cloths. So these are makeup remover wipes, and they are quite pricey at $2 each. But these are really effective. So I picked up 1 packet of this for travel a while back, and I really enjoyed using these. They are one of the most effective makeup removers for eyeshadow and waterproof eyeliner that I have tried, and they are really gentle. They don't have any scent. They don't sting the eye area at all. And for me, I have pretty sensitive eyes, so I thought even though these are really expensive, they might be worth investing in, at least for use when I'm traveling. A moisturizer that I have on my wish list is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. So I recently finished an entire jar of this product and really loved it. And it was quite surprising to me because I had pretty low expectations going in, since I thought, well, Charlotte Tilbury is primarily known as a makeup brand, so I didn't expect the skincare to be that great. But I actually really enjoy this product. It is great for my drier skin. It creates a really nice barrier on my skin, but it also sits really well under makeup. And so I see why people like using this as a very moisturizing primer. It performs really well in that capacity, but it's also a great night cream. I do have a ton of moisturizers in my cabinet to get through right now, so there's a chance I might not pick this up with this sale, but I definitely think I will repurchase the Magic Cream at some point. On the SPF side, I've been on the hunt for a sunscreen that's also really moisturizing. So in my wish list, I have the Dermalogica SPF 50 moisturizer, and I have the mini version in my wish list because I of course want to try it out before committing to buying the full size. And so I don't think I'll necessarily use this as a moisturizer all by itself because of my dry skin, but maybe if I pair this with a moisturizing serum or layer another moisturizer underneath, my hope is that this will be a pretty good daily SPF. So my favorite aspect of my skincare routine is actually taking baths and wearing face masks during that. So I really like using wash-off face masks while I'm in the bath. And recently I've gone through most of my face masks. So I have several of them in my Sephora wish list. One is the Kiehls Calendula Petal Infused Calming Mask with Aloe Vera. So since I have pretty sensitive dry skin, I really like calming masks. So this mask had a lot of my favorite buzzwords in it. Also, I really enjoy Kiehls as a brand, so I'm intrigued to try out this mask. I also have the Farmacy Honey Potion on my wish list. So this one intrigued me because I love honey, and it's supposed to have a slight warming sensation on the face. So I'm hoping it won't irritate my skin, but it looks like it might be an interesting hydrating face mask with some additional properties. And finally, we have the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask. And this is one that I've been hearing good things about for quite a while. And as someone with pretty dry skin, this seemed right up my alley. It's a fragrance-free formula that really focuses on hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. So a little pricey given that those are the main active ingredients, but I think this might be good for me on days when my skin is feeling particularly dry. So that's it for today's video and for my extremely long Sephora wish list. As I mentioned at the top, I don't think I'm gonna pick up everything on this list. So if you guys have any recommendations down below, or if there are products you're particularly interested in seeing video reviews about, definitely let me know. I would also love to know down below what is on your guys' wish list for the Sephora VIB sale. Is there anything that you've been really excited about and can't wait to pick up? Thank you all so much for joining me today, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!